Hi friends, this is Loli. Welcome to my channel. Today I bring you the first video for summertime DIYs. It is a playlist and it's hosted by Brenda from Rustic Lace DIY, co-hosted by Amanda from 6 Kids and a Glue Gun, and by Shantell from Crafty Hints. The link to their channels and to the playlist will be in the description box below. Alright guys, let's get on with it. For the first project, I took one of these cups from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to take some of my Black & Decker white paint, and I'm going to completely cover the inside of this glass with 2 coats of this paint. I was just very careful not to get any paint on the rim. Once the paint dried, I took some of this floral foam from the Dollar Tree and I glued it to the bottom of the glass. Then I took an assortment of flowers from Dollar Tree. I cut an assortment of flowers and I just placed them in different places where I thought they'd look cute, just trying to mix up the different colors as best as I could. And I just kept doing this until I was happy with how my arrangement was looking. I just made sure to take different flowers in different textures and shapes and lengths and textures in order to have this as full as possible, and I just keep adding the flowers in different spots until they look nice and full and luscious pretty much. Friends, if you're enjoying this video so far, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you're able to see all my future uploads. It is free and it means the world to me. Wait, I'm not done yet. There's a side right there, if you see that it's looking a little bit there, so we're going to add some more flowers to the side as well. You want to make sure every angle is nice and full. And I made sure to fluff up the leaves as well in order to make sure that my floral foam is also covered. Now that I'm happy with the outcome, now we are truly done. Let me know what you think. For the second DIY, I used one of these trucks from the Dollar Tree that came from Christmas, and I just removed the Christmas tree from the back. I removed the cord and the staples as well, scraped off as much as the glitter as possible, and sanded it down. Then I covered it with 2 coats of my Black & Decker paint and primer. Once the paint dried, I took my Folk Art True black paint and I'm going to go ahead and paint in the wheels, just leaving the center portion white, just making sure to do as much of a nice circle as possible. And then I'm going to come in with some of this aquamarine, I believe, color from Apple Barrel, and I'm going to use a very tiny brush and create some stitching on all of the perimeter of the truck along with all the little raised edges as well. Then I took some of these letter stamps that I found at Dollar Tree this weekend, and I'm going to go ahead and cut them into individual letters, and I'm going to place them down to form the word farm. Once I had the word farm completely spelled out, I took a piece of masking tape and I just placed it on top of it in order for everything to stay nice and neat. And I make sure to have the letters, be in the same level. And then I place the masking tape over it so it will be a lot easier to position it onto my piece. Then I added some of my black paint to the letters and I just pressed it down on there very gently, trying to not smudge it, and here we go. I did have a little point there that ended up making a dot, but that's okay, we can fix it later. I did the same thing making the word fresh, but I used my aquamarine color for this and I just pressed it right down underneath, and there we go, we have farm fresh. And now I'm just gonna go in with some of my white chalk paint. Actually, this is my Black & Decker paint, and I'm just going to go ahead and fix all those little areas in which the paint bleed to make sure that this has a nice clean look. And I kind of like the way that it looks. It's a little bit worn, so I just kept it that way. Now I'm going to take some of my Cumberland Tower blocks from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to make 2 stacks of 4 tumbling tower blocks. And I did this to try to make it stable. I actually started with 2, but it was tipping over still towards the front. So okay, so we need a little bit more weight on there, so I added 2 more, and then came the amount of 4. So I created another stack that had 4. Thought maybe if I even it out, it will stay, you know, nice and straight instead of tipping over towards the face of the truck. But that quite didn't work. You'll see there that I went over and I attached the next, you know, stack of tumbling tower blocks with 4, and it was still a little wobbly. So I came in and added 1 more tumbling tower block to each one of the sides. I do want this to be nice and steady because I'll be adding some stuff to the truck, so it needs to have that balance. Now that everything is stabilized, I took some of these flowers that I used in the previous DIY, and I'm going to go ahead and add them to the back of my truck. So I'm going to go ahead and take the tags off, reposition my flowers, and I'm going to try to glue everything towards the back of this. I just added a tiny blob of hot glue and pressed it down. I'm just being very careful to have the flowers, you know, lay nice and cute when you look in the front of the truck. So I just kept adding the flowers, tipping it back up to see how it looked, and if I was happy with the way that they fell, I went over and stuck them on, just making sure they have nice angles in which the flowers will not be facing up but more sideways, so it will be more pleasing to the eye. There were a couple flowers that were sticking a little bit too high for my liking, so I just clipped the piece where it goes a little bit and then reposition the flower onto it, adding a tiny bit of hot glue to make sure that everything stayed nice and secure. I tried to, you know, create an assortment of different flowers and different shapes, using pretty much all the flowers that I used for the previous DIY and making sure to put them nice and neat and in a way that was pleasing to the eye. So I just used pretty much my hot glue to help me with that. Just make sure to look against the front of the truck to make sure that everything is falling nicely and that I don't have any gaps or any holes in the bed of the truck. My apologies, guys, for having this part a little bit out of focus. Here, my friends, I'm just filling in the gaps, just making sure to not have any openings in the bed of the truck like I told you earlier. So I'm just, you know, trying to just fill in the gaps on there and adding flowers just to do that. I really want this to be nice and luscious and cheerful at the same time. And that was pretty much it, friends. Here it is. I hope you like it. For our second inspiration project today, I used one of these tin planters from the Dollar Tree, and I removed that sticker. It was hell to do. I'm sorry, but it was HE double hockey sticks. Anyway, I removed it with some glue gun and a sponge, and then I'm painting it with my Black & Decker print and primer paint, and I give this a total of 3 coats. Then I took the fresh word that I made before, and I'm going to add some of my aquamarine color to it as well, and we are going to be stamping it onto the front here of my planter. Again, making sure to dab and not let it rub against the surface. I had a little bit of bleed through, so I just took a little baby wipe and I'm just wiping it right off to clean it right up before the paint dries. I really wanted to try some hand lettering, so I took a pencil and I'm tracing the word flowers on script. Yes, right? Calligraphy. I'm not sure how you call it here. When I learned it's calligraphy in Spanish. But anyway, once I had that trace and I was happy with it looking pencil, I came in with my paint marker from Artisa, and I'm going to go ahead and trace the flower word, and then I'm going to just highlight some spots on the letters just to make it a little bit more interesting. I don't have really any name for this lettering that I'm doing. I'm pretty much going with it here, just adding some highlighting on and thicker lines in some spots. Friends, if you have not done so yet, please consider subscribing. It is free and it means the world to me. Once I was satisfied with the flowers word, I'm going back in with some of that same paint from Apple Barrel. I believe it's aquamarine. And I'm just, adding in and completing some of the portions of the letter fresh that were kind of lost when I did the stamping. I did want this to kind of match the flowers that I just did, which is not as rustic as the fresh was. So I'm just trying to even everything out with that. Now that I'm done with that, I'm going to come in and take a makeup sponge and I'm adding some of my folk art black paint to it, and I'm just dabbing it in different spots on the edges, giving this piece a look of enamel. Let me just tell you right now how much I love this piece. This came out so cute. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and take some floral foam from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut 2 pieces that will be big enough to be in the bottom section of this. I just cut a piece and I cut it in half. I took a bit of hot glue and I'm going to add it to keep everything in place. Just want to make sure that that fit first, and then I'm coming in with the hot glue. I'm adding it to the bottom there where I think the floral foam will be hitting the section, and then I press it right down over there, and I did that with both, putting them side to side. Then I came in with an assortment of flowers, the same that I used for previous DIYs. I started with the blue ones here, and I'm going to just place them towards the back, just making sure that the stems are proper height, so I'm able to put them all the way through the floral moss, the floral foam, and separate enough for them to fit into that round area. Then I came in with some of these pink ones from Dollar Tree as well, and I'm going to put them in between the blue ones, just trying to give this some variation, and also making them a little bit less high as the other ones, so it will cover up some of those green stems of the blue flowers. Next, I took some of these flowers from Dollar Tree as well. I think they're called some kind of royal name, Queen Anne's maybe, I'm not sure, but I just put them towards the back of the arrangement in between the blue ones, just as filling those blank spaces at the back of the planter. Then I give the flowers a little fluff, making sure everything was nice and neat, and I'm going to go ahead and come in with some more flowers from the Dollar Tree. This is actually greenery that came from the Dollar Tree, and it's a hanging piece. I just took one of the little sprigs that came with it, took it off of the stem, and I'm adding a little bit of hot glue at the end and sticking it in between the flowers so it will hang on the side like this. I took another piece from that same arrangement or hanging piece, and I'm going to go ahead and put it on the other side. These are plastic, they're not very malleable, they're not very bendable, it's not like it's wire or anything. So I just tried to do the best I could with just bending the little end there, as you see, and just adding a tiny bit of hot glue at the back. Well, not so tiny. I had to put a big blob in the inside of the planter, and to be able to attach this onto it, just be very careful that you don't burn your hand as you do that. I held the piece in place until the hot glue set. I took a little bit more hot glue, put it in the front there, and then I tacked the greenery right onto that and took off the excess. Then I'm going to take some of my jute cord from Dollar Tree, and I just wrapped it around my hand a couple times, tied it in the middle, making sure to leave a couple tails, and I'm going to go ahead and make sure that this is nice and neat by using some heat to cinch the cord so it is nice and not so straggly. And then once that was nice and burned, just be very careful in this section. It's easy for big pieces to, catch on fire if it's like a big clump of fuzz. And then I just glued it right there in the top of that green piece that you see right there. And just like that, guys, this is done. No, I'm not done yet. I'm going to put the cord back on this piece. I just cinched the cord that came with it, and I just put two nice pieces of hot glue on the corners, thread it through the holes, add a nut, and now we are done, guys. Here it is. I hope you like this one. It came out so stinking cute. I love it. And we are done with our DIYs. Let me know which one of these is your favorite. I cannot pick a favorite, guys. I love the combination and the colors. I just love it. I think my favorite actually is the planter, the last one, but you guys let me know. They're all cute. I hope you enjoyed these as much as I did, and I do. And as always, my friends, thank you so much for watching, for taking time of your life to spend with me. And be blessed, be a blessing, and craft responsibly. And if you would like to follow me on social media, here are my links. And have a blessed day. Don't forget to go in the playlist. Take care. Bye.